This league features 2 matches against Aspiring Spike's Fight Rigging deck, plus another really interesting brew in match 4 that was an absolute treat to play against. So I do think that there is something special in this Great Hall of the Biblioplex, Esper, instants, and sorceries sort of space with Lantern control, and I'm going to continue exploring this until I figure out what's going on. So previously, I've been trying Drown in the Loch. Today, I'm just going to play Triple Erode, and we are going to see if this is correct, or if I would rather just have a split between Erodes and Drowns or something. I'm also trying out Prismatic Ending in the sideboard. I am quite frankly surprised that I forgot about this card in previous versions of the list, and it's good in this list. I mean, I've only got 4 lands that don't produce colored mana, so I'm going to try out Prismatic Ending, and we're going to see if it's any good. I am playing 2 Seachrome Coasts today. I understand that these do not cast Thoughtseize or Inquisition, but given that there are 3 Erodes, and when we're playing against faster decks, we will also want the Prismatic Endings to handle stuff like Ocelot Pride and Dragon's Rage Channeler. Then I feel like Seachrome Coast might be okay as long as you max out on Darkslick Shores. The Seachrome Coast took the place of a single River of Tears and a basic island, so I think it's gonna be mostly okay with that. Anyway, there's still a bunch of other stuff that I'm testing out, like what I should be doing with my last handful of sideboard slots. This Offer You Can't Refuse is in there for now. I am probably about this close to just replacing my last sideboard slot with an anime waifu, just because I can't figure out what else to put in there. But yeah, sideboard's just really powerful instants and sorceries and colorless artifacts. I am going to start up round 1. I'll be back in just a second. I am on the play in match 1 versus JB Spec 3, and I've got 2 Erodes in this hand that I can't cast off this Darkslick Shores, but I'm looking for another land anyway, and there's a very good chance that the land will be able to play tap for white. I'm going to keep the hand. I can also grab Mox Opal, offer as a Saga if I need to, and I think I'm actually going to lead on Codex Shredder, save my discard spell for a little later. Oh no. Green Sun's Zenith off a Turn Timber Symbiosis? No, I'm not going to mill them. I'm just going to draw my card for turn. Okay. We've got another Thoughtseize. This is probably going to mean that I'm not making constructs. Oh, they're playing this deck. Okay. And they just happen to have a bunch of really, really strong cards in hand. As scary as Kozilek's Command is, they don't currently have the mana necessary to cast it. I think I'm going to take the Fight Rigging, and we are going to play Lantern. Inquisition on top of my deck, Eldrazi Temple on top of theirs. I wish I could just Pyxis both of these away. I really don't want this Inquisition. I need a 3rd land. I'm going to let them have the Eldrazi Temple, and that's Fanatic of Ronas. They're getting their stuff down. I really need this 3rd land. That's Mishra's Bauble. That's not a land. Yeah, I guess I have to take it. Thoughtseizing them again. I'm gonna take the Kozilek's Command here. And do I want to take them off of Emrakul? I think I want to Mishra's Bauble myself first and draw this Ensnaring Bridge before I make that decision. And there's the Seachrome Coast. They could probably cast Emrakul not this turn, but next turn. I'm still gonna try and take them off of it. All right, Mosswort Bridge I guess is fine. I mean, it's not really fine, but I'm gonna have to let it go. Malevolent Rumble is getting cast here, and they put Devourer of Destiny in hand. Mosswort Bridge is a really interesting innovation. Like, that just gets around so much stuff. They don't even have to attack, they can just cast the card. All right, so I have to float for mana here. I am going to grab something. Green Sun's Zenith on top of their deck, Kozilek's Command in hand, that is castable. They've also got Devourer of Destiny. Grafdigger's Cage doesn't stop Hideaway because it's cast from exile. I think the answers here are either another Millrock or a Pithing Needle. I think I'm going to get the Millrock. I think I'm going to get Pyxis. And that is a Whir of Invention that I actually cannot cast right now. I'm going to lower this Ensnaring Bridge, and I guess I'm going to mill that Green Sun Zenith. Ugin's Labyrinth I'm going to have to be okay with. And that's just Kozilek's Command. So they're making spawns and scrying X drawing a card. Let's see what they pick up. If I can fade this, then I think I'm going to be okay. And it's just sowing Mycospawn. That's pretty dang close to a fade. Oh good, they took my black producing land, so that means that I can still cast these erodes. Okay, well that could have gone a lot worse. I'm still in a little bit of trouble. Like, I actually think I don't want this Whir of Invention right now. Torpor Orb, huh? I'm gonna take the Torpor Orb. There is a Great Hall on top of my deck. It's possible that they Ghost Quarter me off the Seacrum Coast. Yeah, they are doing that. I am going to erode your Sowing Mycospawn in response. All right, well, I'm going to get one of my 2 basic islands out of the deck here. And that's Urza's Saga. So this means that I can drop Torpor Orb. And it looks like they are trying to hardcast Devourer of Destiny here. Ooh, and they have to exile their Dryad Arbor because they are the only ones that have permanents with colors. Yeah, you may play the exiled card if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater. And they don't, so you can't cast it. That kind of tells me that they really want to cast what's underneath that. Okay, Mox Opal was a huge hit because now I can do a Trixie. So this next turn cycle, they can put Devourer of Destiny back into their hand off this Labyrinth, and then they can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they'll still have green plus Mosswort up. I have Erode in hand. So in response to their activation here, I am simply going to erode their Devourer, and I'm going to just let them do this. Oh yeah, I guess this guy also taps for a bunch of mana, doesn't it? Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. All right, and here we go. We're going to do it again. They really want to cast whatever is underneath that Mosswort Bridge. So I think I am just going to keep it there. Slumbering Trudge is fine. I want to draw this Whir of Invention. I will be able to cast it eventually. I don't need to cast it right this second. I'm going to create my Construct as a blocker for all those 1/1s that are going to get through, and I am going to find Pithing Needle, and I'm going to put it on Mosswort Bridge. And this game's locked up now. Still trying to activate the Mosswort Bridge. I'm sorry, friend, but you can't do it. I'm going to try and dig myself into something good here. Great Hall of the Biblioplex, that's perfectly fine. And they're locked out. So I'm going to see if I can keep this Codex Shredder on top of my deck, and I can. So I will. Okay, I found Urza's Saga on top of my deck. I think it's time to start casting my Whir. And we are going to just try and win the game now. Look at all these lovely creatures that can't attack. I think I'm going to activate Great Hall just for the memes. And the hero's just doing a whole lot of nothing. I have a pretty big chunk of hits on top of their deck, though. We've got to get through these. Yikes, that's a lot of hits. They just had hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. Well, I'm going to do my best here. Green Sun's Zenith, I think I'm going to have to let them have. For X equals 13, they're going to search their deck for a green creature card that has mana value 13 or less. And it's just Disciple of Freyalise. That's shut off by Torpor Orb, actually. So if that's the worst that they had, then I guess we're okay. Wow, they just have a ton of hits right now. I'm doing my best to work through them, but... Emrakul, the Promised End. I think I am going to let them have that. The worst that they can do to me is they can make me lose 2 life with these Great Halls. And probably try and dig myself to a Thoughtseize or something, so I would go down to like 4. I'm gonna let them have it. Yeah, there was a Kozilek's Command underneath of that. No, thank you. 5 Mill Rocks, and it was not good enough. They just had huge clumps of hits in their deck. So now they get to search my deck with Whir of Invention as well. I don't really think there's anything that they could get that would seriously hurt me. Oh boy, they're tapping Great Hall for white. That's not gonna be very good. Yeah, the worst they can do here is I think there's a Pithing Needle in my deck somewhere. They could grab another Lantern and just sacrifice it immediately. Green Sun Zenith on top of their deck. Wow, thanks for revealing that, even though I think I already knew that. Yeah, I'm gonna draw a card. This is my extra turn now. And it's just Lantern of Insight. That's ridiculously funny. That is very silly. So that literally just did Stone Cold nothing. Jeez, that's so silly. This deck gets much harder to play against after board, by the way. And I win the game. I went a little bit over on time. I don't really like that. I'm going to have to manage that a little bit better in games 2 and 3. But now this gets a lot harder. I want consigns in for sure. Torpor Orb. I think I'm comfortable siding out Torpor Orb. Grafdigger's Cage needs to stay in. All my needles need to stay in. Underworld Cookbook can probably go. And when you can't think of anything else to side out a Mishra's Bauble, I guess. And I want these consigned memories. So I'm going to keep my erodes because they answer their big doofuses, but they also will have smaller creatures, stuff like Collector Oof that I need to be aware of at least. I mean, this is just a quick Urza Saga hand with consigned memory backup. I'm gonna keep it. They could still go turn 1 Slumbering Trudge into turn 2 Fight Rigging if they really wanted to, I think. So we're not like fully out of the woods, you know? And that's Whir of Invention. I am just gonna play Seachrome Coast into Mox Opal and pass turn. Into nothing. Just double Forest. I think I want to put Pithing Needle down. I'm not sure on what. It's just really good for my curve if I drop it. I think I'm not going to fall prey to that argument. And they're just going the beatdown route. Yeah, okay. Well, I can go beatdown too. This Slumbering Trudge is going to start untapping pretty soon. But my stuff's going to get very big very quickly. That's a Thoughtseize, which I really like. So I can just grab Lantern. Kozilek's Command. I think I can leave that stranded in hand. I am going to Thoughtseize them and see if there's anything else I need to be afraid of. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see why you kept this hand. I see what's going on here. I'm going to take them off of a Kozilek's Command, and I'm going to let them have the Kozilek's Command that's on top of their deck. And I think I do need to put Pithing Needle down on something. I don't know what. Probably like something that gives them mana. There's not really a good way for me to shut off mana abilities with Pithing Needle, though. I guess I'll take Boseiju. And I'm not blocking, so I'm attacking. Oh, they're afraid. Oh, that's really good for me. I'm, again, not blocking, so I am attacking. They are blocking. I don't have Underworld Cookbook in my deck anymore, so I'm not going to be able to whir. I'm just going to create a construct. I've got a Millrock coming next turn. I'm going to trade with this Trudge. They're falling to 9. They've got a Trinisphere. And at this stage in the game, I generally don't care about Collector Oof. Yeah, they see the writing on the wall. They kept a hand that had a bunch of Trudges and a lot of hate. But when you don't draw the mana you need to cast that hate, then it kind of just doesn't matter. Sorry, friend, didn't work out. I will gladly take that win, and we will move on to match 2. If you're enjoying the video and think you'd like watching more of what I make, please consider subscribing so YouTube can notify you when I go live and upload videos. I appreciate your support. Thank you. I am on the play in match 2 versus Wolf, 777. I can't keep this no-lander, sorry. Not even a Mox Opal for my troubles. And this is Great Hall, which does technically cast everything in my hand. It has no path towards casting Whir or Ensnaring Bridge. It doesn't even have a Lantern Lock. I'm going to have to mulligan this. I'm going to 5. And this is unfortunately the best hand we've seen. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to bottom the Torpor Orb and one of the Erodes. And I have to lead on Spire of Industry here. I really wish this was a Great Hall so that I could go turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Erode, and then Shredder off of Saga, but I can't do that. And they've got a Devourer of Destiny. So I guess it's fine that I have to lead off of Shredder because on their upkeep, I will be able to take whatever their hit is off this Devourer. And they did keep on top. Let's see what they kept on top and what they exiled. Glaring Fleshraker kept on top and they got rid of 3 lands. So that tells me that they have all the mana that they want. And sure enough, that's an Expedition map. Notably, the basic Waste is exiled. I'm gonna have to Inquisition them here. I don't want to. I have a feeling this is gonna miss. It didn't miss. If I can find Ensnaring Bridge, then I think I have a shot at this hand. Like the Erode can line up with the Ugin, and my constructs might be able to hold the line against Devourer of Destiny, so maybe I don't even need Ensnaring Bridge. But they don't even actually have the mana that they need right now. Now that I'm looking at it in more detail, they had 2 Urza's Mines. They got rid of a tower. That's actually quite surprising to me. I would have thought that they would have kept the tower and then used Expedition Map to grab Power Plant and then just turn 3 Ugin. But instead they kept Glaring Fleshraker on top. I don't understand the rationale for this. I mean, I know that Glaring Fleshraker is a powerful card, but maybe they were planning on using Fleshraker plus Kozilek's Command instead. But given their current hand, they wouldn't have been able to do that until turn 4. Oh, they hit an Ugin's Labyrinth. Yeah, okay. Mind Stone's coming down. So they can still crack here. I don't believe they can get up to 7 mana next turn. Okay, it's a Darkslick Shores. I'm not mad about that. I'm going to create my constructs, probably. 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, they've got nothing here. They might have drawn a Kozilek's Command. That would have sucked. Oh, and they had Power Plant on top of their deck, and I blind milled it with Codex Shredder. That feels good. And I found Pithing Needle. I am just going to make my constructs here. I am going to find Lantern of Insight. Darkslick Shores is going to come down. Honestly, I'm just going to put Pithing Needle on Ugin, and we're going to start swinging in. And that's a concession from them. They had Karn the Great Creator on top of their deck. I was definitely going to be milling that. I had Erode to answer their first Devour, and they probably wouldn't have recovered from the tempo to land something else in time. Erode looking pretty dang good. I don't know if you've noticed, but Erode is pulling some weight here. So against this deck, I want Torpor Orbs out. I also want Inquisitions out. Duress is just better than Inquisition in this matchup. And of course, Consigned to Memory, that comes in. Grafdigger's Cage is mostly dead, as is the Underworld Cookbook. And I can afford to bring in Voidmere, which is just an absolute hammer against them. And I get one more pick. I could make it a Pithing Needle. Welding Jar is probably not it. I could just make it Torpor Orb. I could literally just put in the Miser's Offer You Can't Refuse. I literally could just do that. Just the meme card. This doesn't play very well with Voidmere though. So maybe I don't include it, and I include probably Pithing Needle, I guess. There's an argument to be made for bringing in Prismatic Ending. I guess I'll bring in one Prismatic Ending. That's really difficult though. No, I'm gonna make it the Pithing Needle. I'm gonna kind of regret this if they just go turn one Chalice of the Void. This hand has double discard, it has half a Lantern Lock, and traditionally Ensnaring Bridge is pretty good, but not really in this matchup. I am going to mulligan this. I'm going to fish for a better 6. And this is a better 6. I'm going to keep it. I don't have the mana to cast Erode yet, so I am just going to bottom that. No Devourer of Destiny reveal from them this time, but they do have Expedition Map, and I found another Mill Rock. So I could land Pyxis and Bauble, and then next turn I could drop Lantern into Thoughtseize. And I think I am going to do that. I do not think that they're going to have a turn 2 play that's going to really kill me if they're leading on an Expedition Map. Famous last words before, again, I get chaliced. And yeah, they are just passing turn. Great Hall of the Biblioplex is a fine pickup. I think I'm going to keep it. And another Urza Saga. So we are Saga gaming with this hand. I like that a lot. Power plant on top of their deck. Okay, let's see what you're up to. Disruptor Flute. That means that they cannot use their Expedition Map and also cast something with the mana this upcoming turn cycle. I am going to at Pyxis. Ensnaring Bridge on top of my deck. I'm probably going on the Urza Saga beatdown plan right now, though. This is almost certainly naming Pyxis. Oh, Urza Saga. They're scared. They are scared. Yeah, I'm going to take your Karn the Great Creator. And we are going to pivot. So Urza's power plant is literally on top of their deck right now. So I don't think they need to crack the Expedition Map. Whatever happens this turn, I'm not going to be fighting it. So I'm just going to let this go. Yeah, power plant is down. Another Disruptor Flute on top of their deck. I really don't like that. I'm going to take a couple hits from this Thought-Knot Seer, but ultimately I think it's going to be okay. Them drawing that Disruptor Flute hurts though. So I am actually just going to land Urza Saga number 2 here. Drop the Ensnaring Bridge. And I will let them have this Devourer of Destiny. And it's times like these that I'm glad that I have such a high diversity of Mill Rocks. I don't want this Pyxis. I actively do not want to have it. And now is definitely the correct time to Disruptor Flute. They're going to name Pyxis here, I bet. And there we go. Okay, so that means I can't make the construct. I may as well not float the mana. I'm going to take Codex Shredder here. And I am going to take their Kozilek's Command. I think that might have been the correct call there. Expedition Map shuffling. Now they mill a power plant, and what's underneath of it? It's just Urza's Mine. Okay, that's fantastic. That's really good for me. I think I might actually be able to lock them out now. And now I'm just going to grab my Ghoul-Caller's Bell, just in case I get hit with another Disruptor Flute. And we're going to keep on trucking. Do I really want them to have just an extra draw card each turn? Not really. I don't really want them having this Mind Stone either. All right, yeah, they just have a dead draw on top of their deck. That's really good. Erode. I'm going to hold that in hand. That would be useful as a potential shuffle. Oh, and the absolute hammer, Voidmere, has shown up just in time, actually, because this Glaring Fleshraker would have started causing some trouble. And that is the concession. Honestly, like, the game was already locked up. Voidmere was not going to be materially relevant. Like, I could have probably found a win with what I had without this, but Voidmere was very nice to see. Not gonna lie, I like that a lot. And having the diversity of mill rocks present in the deck actually was relevant. If the hero had chosen something like, Codex Shredder off of this other Disruptor Flute, then I would have had to just figure it out using Ghoulcaller's Bell. So yeah, I'm happy that I built the deck the way that I did. 2-0, let's move on to match 3 here. Did losing to my prison deck leave you feeling bitter and despondent? Work through the stages of your grief with a membership to Fate Seal Magic on Patreon, YouTube, or Twitch. As your grief matures, you'll gain perks like early video access, lessons and sideboard guides, featuring your deck in a video, and can even co-host a stream once you reach acceptance. Check my Discord server linked in the description for more information and to access your perks. I hope to see you on your path to healing. I'm on the draw in match 3 versus Party, a limited liability corporation. This is Lantern Lock, Urza Saga, and Torpor Orb. It's a pretty weak hand. I think I'm going to keep it off the back of Urza Saga, but it could really use something like a discard spell or an erode or something like that. I would not be mad to draw Whir of Invention or Ensnaring Bridge either. Another land would be terrible. Mox Opal would be okay-ish. And the hero surveilled a card to top, so we all know what we have to do. Darkslick Shores into Pyxis. What, are you going to force a negation my Pyxis? No, you're just going to let me take your Surveil. And next turn, I will Lantern Thoughtseize. Misty Rainforest. There's no way they're playing Living End with black anymore. Violent Outburst just got unbanned. But they picked up Snow-Covered Forest. Oh, I see, it's Birthing Ritual. Well, I am not even going to bother Thoughtseizing them then. I am just going to do Urza Saga, and I am literally just going to drop Torpor Orb into another Birthing Ritual. Now you've piqued my interest. I could create a construct here. I don't think I'm going to. The tempo hit from getting this Torpor Orb down kind of just hurt. Although, my construct would start as a 4/4, and they couldn't even find Harbinger of the Seas, because if they did, then I would just have infinite Urza Saga constructs forever. So their hardest hit would probably be an Abhorrent Oculus. I'm going to play Seacrum Coast here. Could I race an Abhorrent Oculus? I think I could, as long as I make the second construct. There is no Ensnaring Bridge or Whir of Invention in sight. I haven't really been able to get a lockdown. Oh, and they're just doing nothing. Yeah, that makes me very glad that I'm doing this then. All right, I'm just going to make the constructs. I am going to grab Grafdigger's Cage off of this. That shuts off these Birthing Rituals. And I'm going to put Lantern of Insight into play. I haven't even Thoughtseized them. Okay, and they just conceded. So they are playing blue, green, black, Birthing Ritual, Shardless Agent, Cascade nonsense. And I don't know what on earth was going on here, but they kind of just didn't function. So this is the sort of deck that I want my Duresses in against. Torpor Orb is good against them. Grafdigger's Cage is incredible. Erode, not so much. Underworld Cookbook, not so much. Makes me wonder why they have black. They might be playing some of the new elementals. Deceit, I guess. They might have Overlord of the Baelmerk as a top end. Do I want my Erodes? Erode is going to look very good when I'm facing down an Abhorrent Oculus and I don't have Ensnaring Bridge. It's not going to look good if I don't face that exact situation. And their deck is kind of just built off of ETBs. Torpor Orb seems decent against that. I think I am going to side it out, though. If I were to side out Erodes, what would I bring in? Vexing Bauble doesn't seem great. I guess I'd bring in Welding Jar. That doesn't seem particularly strong. I could side grade Erodes into Prismatic Endings. Makes it a little harder to deal with stuff like Overlord. And I guess it also makes it a little harder to deal with Harbinger of the Seas. I don't exactly know what I'm doing here. I'm running out of time. I'm just going to submit something. I could have probably sided out a Pithing Needle or two, but I really want to save those for Beseiju. I've got a pretty basic hand here. It does cast Whir of Invention. I guess I'll keep it into another Whir of Invention. Okay, well, that's not the worst. It's been a long time since I've really seriously played with Ghoulcaller's Bell. Many, many years. It makes me happy to see this artwork again. Heroes fetching, probably finding a Surveil land, and there's the Surveil land. They kept on top, so I'm going to take it for them. You didn't want that Force of Negation, right? That was a misclick, right? You're welcome. For a Coiling Oracle, and they found Stinkin' Stupid. That is a Bosch and Roll reference, if you were not aware. I could play out Glimmervoid, but I'm kind of worried about my stuff getting swept up, and I really don't want to lose the land. So I think instead I am going to Inquisition them. And they've got a whole lot of good stuff in hand. Taking the Birthing Ritual means that they are slowed down quite a bit, but they have Shardless Agent anyway, so I'm not going to actually be able to successfully take them off of that, because they could just hit off of Shardless Agent. I really wish I could take the Culling Ritual. What's the closest thing to taking Culling Ritual? Honestly, probably taking Sink into Stupor. That keeps them off lands, and I do want to slow them down a little bit here. And here comes the Birthing Ritual. Now, I need to decide if I am eroding now or not. They didn't hit the land. You know what I think I am going to do? I think I'm going to float the mana, and I'm going to let them resolve this Birthing Ritual trigger. They just found Fibblethip, and they're going to draw a card off of it. Yeah, I don't know if I want to cast Erode into this. I think I'm just going to let the mana go. Ooh, Urza Saga. That is a heck of a reason to not cast Whir of Invention yet. I think I am actually going to put that into play. Icefang Quaddle's coming down. Okay, and they still have not found another land. Oh, I should have floated white off of Great Hall. That's not good. Now I can get Harbinger of the Seized. Although if I do get Harbinger of the Seized, I guess it's not terrible. Why are they emptying their own graveyard? I figured they would have wanted to keep that. All right, whatever. I am going to just pass turn. Mox Opal is a huge hit here. This Mox Opal means that I can hold open either Whir or Construct activation while also holding open Erode, while also making 4/4s that can block this Endurance. And it is Glimmervoid time, finally. I've been very patient with this Mishra's Bauble, and I'm kind of glad that I have been. Ooh, Verdant Catacombs, they finally found their land. And that's just Shardless Agent. Into another Birthing Ritual, yeah, you got it. Yeah, I'm not going to create the Construct yet. I am instead going to float white off of the Glimmervoid, and we are going to see what happens here. Fibblethip finding another card. That's fine. And that's Abhorrent Oculus. I don't think that I should be making constructs into this board. I think that I should be whirring for Lantern. So I am going to find it. I don't want them having that snow-covered forest. I don't know if they have another land in hand yet. That Duress, though, that's huge. I'm going to pop the Mishra's Bauble. I'm just trying to get cards in hand. And I still don't want to cast the Erode yet. I'm just leaving my options open. I'm going to draw the Duress here. And I just ripped Ensnaring Bridge, just like that. Okay, so I need to skill shot with this Urza Saga now. It's highly likely that I'm supposed to grab Grafdigger's Cage. I am now going to Duress the hero. We're going to see what they're working with. And that is a Collector Oof in hand. Oh, but they also have Boseiju. Jeez, that's disgusting. Well, I gotta take the Culling Ritual. Yeah, this hand is actually going to be quite difficult for me to work through. And I'm not really sure how I should be doing it. I think it starts with Ensnaring Bridge, unfortunately. 3, 5, 10, 12. Oh, that's not fun. That means I need to come up with a pain-free source of blue. Yeah, I need to take this Flare of Denial. Polluted Delta from them. I guess if they do Boseiju me, then that is my pain-free source of blue, because I just grab a blue land. Just going to float white off this Mox Opal real quick. And I am eroding the heck out of that Collector Oof. That's just got to go. Oh, and they did nothing. They did nothing. Well, if they allow me to untap, then I think I win the game. Oh my god, they're letting me untap. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can still play my Pyxis while also holding open Whir of Invention for 3 and having all my Mill Rocks active. I just need this manifest to not be Collector Oof. If that is true, then I think I'm okay. Maybe I should have played around that by tapping this Mox Opal for a Pyxis. And if they fetch here, yeah, I'm going to whir over top of this fetch. Blue, 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 and 1. They have no legendary creatures, so they can't Boseiju right now. I am going to grab Pithing Needle, and I'm going to put it on Boseiju who endures. All right, your fetch is fine. Go ahead and find something. Just naturally hitting a Sink into Stupor right on top of the deck, huh? Yeah, unfortunately, I do have to take that. Force of Negation is fine. Okay, I think we're okay. Just barely. I need this Shardless Agent to not hit Collector Oof. It hit Coiling Oracle. Oh, and Coiling Oracle is going to hit Breeding Pool, and we're fine. This Coiling Oracle is going to get milled by their Abhorrent Oculus that's in play. I'm so glad I have this Grafdigger's Cage. It shuts off their birthing rituals. It shuts off Abhorrent Oculus bringing random manifests in. Just going to auto-yield to this Abhorrent Oculus. That's fine. Sink into Stupor in hand. Duress is getting cast now. Let's take that Force of Negation out of their hand one way or another. There it is. I am going to activate Bell, get rid of the Sink into Stupor. Oh, they have another Shardless Agent in hand, so I guess I need that to miss too. Yeah, we're not out of the woods yet. Okay, just a counterspell. I'm going to let them have it. I've got Thoughtseize on top of my deck now, so I am certainly going to be Thoughtseizing away that Shardless Agent if they don't Flare of Denial me, which they might. And they didn't, so Shardless Agent is now gone. And quick voiceover just to say that the hero gave up after this play. I think that they could have played a little bit better, maybe fired off that Shardless Agent before I had a chance to Thoughtseize it. But honestly, I am not convinced that it would have mattered all that much. There's not really much that they could have hit off of Shardless Agent that would have mattered on this board. No matter, I'll take the win. On to match 4. Unfortunately, I lost all the audio for this section, so I'm gonna have to do a big old voiceover. I do decide to mulligan this 7. Like, I can cast Whir of Invention and Erode out of this, but there's really not much that this hand is doing, so I decide to fish for a slightly better 6. This one's not much better, but at least it has Urza Saga in it, so I decide to keep. And this is where the fun begins. The hero drops a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth and passes turn. I draw Lantern of Insight. I decide to just play Lantern of Insight instead of holding open Erode for the turn cycle, and they've got an Arboreal Grazer on top of their deck, so maybe this is some weird Titan variant? Nope, it's something else entirely. That's an Ensnaring Bridge on top of the opponent's deck. They drop their Arboreal Grazer after playing an Orborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, and that's Cabal Coffers. We are deep into Brew territory now. I draw Inquisition of Kozilek for turn, which is great because I need to know what the heck's going on. So I deploy my Urza Saga, and I drop my Torpor Orb. That turns on Mox Opal, which I use to fire off my Inquisition of Kozilek. And what do we have here? Karn, the Great Creator, and Boseiju, who endures as the picks that I cannot select off of Inquisition. I take the Ensnaring Bridge and thank my lucky stars that I've got Erode in hand. And here we go. Karn, the Great Creator, put on the stack. But they don't fetch anything with it, they just use it to blow up my Mox Opal. The hero's got a blocker for my constructs, and they've got Ensnaring Bridge in hand anyway, so I figured it would be better just to use my mana most effectively this turn cycle. I deploy my Grafdigger's Cage, and I hold open Erode for Karn. And I do fire off Erode on Karn on the draw step so that they draw a bad draw. Alright, here comes Ensnaring Bridge. I'm not particularly worried since I'm mostly just going to be assembling a Lantern Lock at this point. Creating the construct is pretty much free, but what to grab off of Urza Saga? I ended up just going for Pyxis and passing turn. A couple turns later, my other Saga pops and I grab a Codex Shredder with it. I've got a fairly weak lock at this point, or at least I think it's fairly weak since I have no idea what the opponent's playing here. So my job at this point of the game is to find as many mill rocks as I can possibly put on board while keeping them off of things that are just completely unknown to me. I find my third mill rock here, that makes me feel much better. And I do make a bit of a play mistake here. There's a Whir of Invention on top of my deck. I could have popped Mishra's Bauble to draw that, but instead I kind of just left it there. And now the hero's got an out on top of their deck. Fortunately, only one, so I didn't have to tack my Pyxis and get rid of that Whir. Whir of Invention here finds mill rock number 4. And now I'm feeling pretty dang okay. There would have to be 9 outs in a row on top of the hero's deck in order for them to get out of this. That's yet another Whir for a 5th mill rock. And after taking some of their outs, I see Shifting Woodland on top of their deck. Now this can copy the Blast Zone in their graveyard, which would blow up my entire lock over the course of a couple of turns. So that's gotta go. And they actually managed to do it. I am tapped out. There is a Malevolent Rumble on top of their deck, and I kind of just have to let them have it. They fire off this Malevolent Rumble and hit Sowing Mycospawn of all things. Now they can find any land that they want that's left in their library. And they find Lair of the Hydra, which can animate and be basically any size you want as long as you pump enough mana into it. Yeah, I agree. Double activating a manland is a very strange line. So I don't really blame them for not seeing it. There's plenty of lines like this that I haven't seen. After a few turns back and forth, I managed to get my lock into a strong position again, and I do top deck a Pithing Needle. I decide to not put it on Lair of the Hydra because I don't want my opponent to know that I know what their out is. And here they're attempting to execute on their last out. Now, Lair of the Hydra can animate for a small amount to swing underneath Ensnaring Bridge, but it can also animate again after attacks are declared and be pumped up to an insane number due to the amount of mana the hero has here. I decide that it's time to not be cute and just find my other Pithing Needle and put it on the Lair. And that prompts the concession. Maybe I didn't really need to do it like this, but it ended up working out anyway. Ultimately, after some consideration, I end up siding out Grafdigger's Cage, Torpor Orb, and Cookbook, and bringing in my 2 Duresses and my Welding Jar. I do consider siding out some number of Ensnaring Bridges for counterspells like Offer You Can't Refuse and Consign to Memory, but I do ultimately end up deciding against it. I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but it's what I ended up doing anyway. I'm on the draw in game 2 with a double Urza Saga hand that also has a natural Lantern Lock and a Whir of Invention. This is pretty dang good, and I decide to keep it. I end up drawing Inquisition of Kozilek for turn. Now, Great Hall of the Biblioplex could allow me to just fire this off right now, and the bait's too strong. I end up going for it. Good thing I did too, because the hero had Disruptor Flute in hand. Now, I didn't side in Prismatic Ending, so I wasn't ready for that. I ended up taking it. They ended up firing off a Malevolent Rumble on their turn and just found Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. Back to me. I end up deploying my Lock, Lantern, and Pyxis are both down now. I could take the Ensnaring Bridge off the top of their deck, but I decide to save my Pyxis for something scarier. And that's a Sowing Mycospawn grabbing Blast Zone. Now, we could do a little bit of a dance around this. I could rebuild my Lock after Blast Zone if necessary, or if they choose to get a little bit greedy, then I could find a Pithing Needle for it and just move on with my day. I do find another Lantern of Insight here, so that makes rebuilding quite a bit easier. But remember that they still have Boseiju in hand. The hero decides to attack with their Mycospawn, and then they cast Ensnaring Bridge and pass turn. I'm so glad Lantern Control can scare opponents into doing stuff like this now. So we get back to my turn. The hero lets me pop one of my sagas, and I mull over what to get off of it. Now, I would love to hear y'all's feedback in the comments as to what you would get here. I ended up putting Pithing Needle into play and naming Blast Zone with it. This does make me vulnerable to the hero just Beseijuing that Pithing Needle and then blowing up my Lock with Blast Zone, but between the Lantern in hand, the Whir, and the Urza Saga, I have more than enough material to just rebuild after that happens. But the hero just has diamond hands on this Boseiju. They are refusing to use it. So I could grab Pithing Needle for Boseiju here. I elect to get Welding Jar instead. This still protects me from Boseiju while keeping my Pithing Needle free to name something else like Ugin. Now, I allow my opponent to draw the Stone Brain here. I figure that the worst thing they could hit is probably my other Pithing Needle, and I don't really mind all that much if it goes away. And they just named Codex Shredder. Now, I already have one of those in play. I certainly don't need the other one, so that basically just kind of did nothing against me. And you know the name of the game from here. Stop the hero from drawing outs, dig myself into more mill rocks. And now I've revealed the second Pithing Needle on the top of my deck here, and the hero chooses this moment to Boseiju my stuff. I have Welding Jar, I just regenerate. And I don't even decide to find a card out of my deck because I kind of do really want to draw that Pithing Needle. And honestly, not really much else interesting happens in this game. I've got a pretty good lockdown. The hero hasn't really capitalized on opportunities to disrupt me very well. I stock my hand with answers because I'm not the one with the Ensnaring Bridge. And eventually the hero realizes the futility of whatever the heck they're trying to do in this luck, and they concede the match to me. Beautiful. We are now 4-0, haven't dropped a game going into match 5. I am on the draw again in the 5th and final match versus DestinyDeferred. I'm going to have to mulligan this hand. This just does not work. This one does, but only just barely. I'm going to keep it in bottom of the Glimmervoid. And we are actually at 4-0 right now. I have not dropped a single game this entire league. I don't know what's going on. This is very strange. And those of you in the video aren't going to notice, but I've also only been recording for 2.5 hours. Usually when I'm playing Lantern Control, I record for much longer. I allot 3.5 hours to 4 hours for each stream, which is frankly ludicrous. It's an insane amount of time. Garden of Freyalise into Slumbering Trudge. All right, so we're just playing against fight rigging. Okay, but I found Great Hall of the Biblioplex, which is better than Spire of Industry in this hand. Oh, and they mulled to 5. Yeah, I'm taking the fight rigging. So they're just casting Ugin's Labyrinth or putting that down. They found a Malevolent Rumble off the top of their deck. That's pretty good. Choosing Fanatic of Ronus, which is good for me because I did not want to fight against this Emrakul. I cannot find a lock to save my life. I'm just finding a ton of Ensnaring Bridges. Maybe that's good enough, maybe it's not. Okay, they're just casting the Fanatic. Fine by me. I found Thoughtseize. I'm going to play Spire, and I'm going to cast Ensnaring Bridge number 1. I would love to see just ripping a Lantern of Insight, or a Whir of Invention, or a Mill Rock, or something like that. Choosing not to cast the Slumbering Trudge here. Oh, hey, I ripped Lantern. So I am going to float. I'm tempted to find Pyxis, but I know that this deck doesn't really do much out of its graveyard. I'm going to find Codex Shredder instead. Use my floating mana to cast Lantern. And I don't want them having Malevolent Rumble in any situation, so I'm going to get rid of it. See what's underneath of it. It's a forest. Play Great Hall. I'm going to Thoughtseize them. Check their hand, see what else they might have. That's nasty. Yep, they had Kozilek's Command. And I guess I'm going to hold open a Road. I can take pokes from this Fanatic for a little bit. I actually might erode now to make it such that they shuffle away that Disciple of Freyalise, because I'm not really ready for that. I'm actually going to erode the Slumbering Trudge. And they did search, and they put Kozilek's Command on top of their deck. That's disgusting. So we technically have a lock set up, but it's extremely weak, and this deck has a lot of outs. Trudge is down. I'm going to draw this Great Hall, and I am just going to put Ensnaring Bridge number 2 into play. I hate to say it, but I kind of just need them to not have anything here. Sowing Mycospawn is not having anything, but it's probably better than a Kozilek's Command. You know, I should probably actually pay attention. Do they have removal for artifacts in the main deck? Well, there's nothing I can do here, so I'm just going to let them go off. Yeah, they've got a Mosswort Bridge, which I don't love. They're going to be able to just fire that off. Yeah, they might have a World Breaker. You might be right about that. But the list that I played against earlier didn't have one. Well, this Emrakul is coming whether I like it or not, and I'm going to be losing 3 life. I think I am going to intentionally gate myself on mana for the turn that they're going to be casting Emrakul, which they can just do right now. And here it is. Great Hall's down. That's fine. Just finding Ghost Quarter. They really should have done this during the turn that they had control over me so that they could have deprived me of the fetch. And honestly, like, they had access to a lot of stuff that they could have done there. I feel like if they had a way to remove this Ensnaring Bridge, then they probably would have been able to do it. Yeah, they can't even make me sacrifice my Codex Shredder. I had to take a bit of a break. Looks like they made me cast my Lantern and then made me sack another one. So I am Lanternless right now. Just gonna do my best. They still do need to be able to remove Ensnaring Bridge before I get in some real trouble. Oh, I just found Whir of Invention. All right, that's fine. And they concede the game. Yeah, I'll take a hit from Emrakul and live to tell the tale. I'm perfectly fine with that. Wow, that is something. That really is something. Haven't dropped a game this entire league, and we are now playing for the trophy in this game. I forgot how I sideboarded before. I'm just going to kind of make something up. So Grafdigger's Cage is a meh. They do have the Green Sun Zenith that I need to worry about, but I don't know if it's worth it for that. Did I side out Inquisitions? I don't remember if I sided out Inquisitions. I think I did, and I brought in Consigns instead. I could see that. I don't know, though. I guess Inquisition doesn't hit stuff like Force of Vigor, which I'm pretty sure that I've seen, but I can't remember if it was from this opponent. Could bring in my Welding Jar. This helps with Beseju, but I don't know if they play Besejus. I don't want to bring in Voidmere because they just have a ton of forests in their deck. It's not going to help very much. I guess our Road isn't particularly strong, but they're going to have Collector Oofs, so I think I want to keep it in. Do I want to have Consign to Memory? I think I do, actually. I think I'm going to run it like this. I am honestly a little bit frazzled I am probably not sideboarding correctly. And we've got a hand that looks like this. This is not a great hand. I'm going to keep it. I am expecting to lose this game. Turn 1 Green Sun Zenith, actually. I thought this was going to be a Slumbering Trudge, but it's just for Dryad Arbor. That's fine. Okay, Urza Saga was a really big rip. I'm really happy to see that. Let's go Great Hall into Pyxis, into Collector Oof. That's fine. That's why I have a road. Another Pyxis. So I can play Urza Saga into Pyxis, into Mox Opal, and I can consider eroding this Collector Oof. I don't have to right now, so I'm not going to. I worry that they might have kept their hand off of the strength of something like a Fade from History. Yeah, I kind of just don't have to do anything here. Oh, that's another erode. Okay, well, my constructs are getting pretty chonky. I think this is the turn cycle where I erode Collector Oof. Make a 4/4 construct. Oof, maybe I should have done that earlier. This looks like a Fade from History. I do not like this. It's just a Slumbering Trudge. All right, I can beat that. Oh, well, I can't beat that. I cannot beat that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that just destroys my entire life. I lose Glimmer Void. I'm going to erode this. Not really much of a point for me to make the construct. I'm just going to lose it anyway. Nasty. Glimmer Void's going to go. Goodbye, Glimmer Void. Hardly knew ye. Mox Opal, that's funny. I mean, I'm not blocking, so I'm attacking. This erode is going to have to get pointed at the Slumbering Trudge anyway. Yikes! Fight rigging. I am going to let this go. I'm going to wait for them to target something at beginning of combat. Yeah, that's another fight rigging. And they're spreading the love with their fight rigging triggers. I think that's correct. I am going to erode this now. Thank you again to Great Hall of the Biblioplex for just working. Losing Glimmer Void hurt, but I can still cast this erode. I am at minimum 2 turns away from casting Ensnaring Bridge. Now I am only 1 turn away. I think I am going to attack with the bear. And honestly, I think Pithing Needle needs to come down in case my top card is a Mishra's Bauble. That would unlock this Mox Opal. But what to name? I think it's Mosswort Bridge. Really wishing this was a Vexing Bauble. I have one in my sideboard. I should have brought it in. Ooh, Sowing Mycospawn. Just for Eldrazi Temple, though, so I think it's okay. Okay, I need a land, and it's a Seachrome Coast. So that means that I can just slam Ensnaring Bridge and start passing turn. They are going to have to come up with another Fade from History before I will just lose the game. Oh, hey, Mosswort Bridge. It's the card that I Pithing Needled. Not that it matters because they have 2 fight riggings here. So next turn, they'll be able to cast both fight rigging cards. Would love to hit a Whir of Invention or a Mox Opal. Not a Mox Opal, a Welding Jar. Pyxis is fine, I guess. I'm honestly going to keep that in hand. I am expecting to get board wiped here. They did stack these triggers correctly, so they get to spread the love while also casting both of the cards underneath fight rigging. Oh, and it's Thought Knot Seer. I played into it. No. Now let's see what's underneath this one. It was just Eldrazi Temple. All right. So if I hadn't played into Thought Knot Seer exactly, then I guess I would have been okay. Nope. It's a Disciple of Freyalise. I'm dead. I'm just so dead. It's not even funny. Yeah, they just refilled their hand. They got 9 cards in hand now. It's a real shame that I played into that Thought Knot Seer. Wait, they're not done with their turn. They're doing something else here. Just another Thought Knot Seer? Sure. Oh, and I would have hit the Lantern! No! I would have had a lock. Oh, that feels bad. Oh, they have Disciple of Freyalise on top of their deck, but I have Whir of Invention on top of mine. I have to hope for the best. I think this is a Kozilek's command. They're getting rid of my bear and drawing Disciple. I mean, at this point, it really is just as simple as hoping the Fade from Histories are on the bottom of their deck. That is literally just the only thing I can do. Or they can have a Chomping Changeling, which just wrecks my day too. All right. That's disgusting. So I need to think more seriously about my sideboard plan. I think Erode is fine. Welding Jar is fine. Grafdigger's Cage. This doesn't shut off much. I think Vexing Bauble shuts off more than Grafdigger's Cage does. Pithing Needle is not super relevant, especially if I have Vexing Bauble. Torpor Orb will stop what? It'll stop the Changeling. It'll stop Thought Knot Seer. Do I want to just put an Offer You Can't Refuse in? Since I'm so just afraid of Fade from History. Yeah, if I'm bringing in Torpor Orb just from chomping... Oh, you know what? No. It stops the Disciple of Freyalise too. It also stops Thought Knot Seer. Yeah, I'm bringing in Torpor Orb. All right. Sorry, Offer You Can't Refuse, but today's not your day. Okay, we get another shot at the trophy. Let's try this. This is just 3 lands, Lantern, Bauble, Whir, Thoughtseize. It's not a super strong hand. I'm going to keep it. Heroes Mulliganing. It's really good for me. And they don't have a ton of ways to manipulate the top of their deck, so I am going to lead on turn 1 Lantern here. I'm going to do it off Darkslick Shores. All right, turn Timber Symbiosis. And that is turn 1 Slumbering Trudge. All right, Erode is a good draw for me. Great Hall, not so much. Let's Thoughtseize them, see what they've got. And what they've got is a Thought-Knot Seer that they can eventually cast. They're going to get 2 turns before I can deploy an Ensnaring Bridge. Malevolent Rumble cannot find Fade from History. Kozilek's Command can, but they can't cast Kozilek's Command, not yet. But I'm sure that at some point in the game they'll be able to. I am going to take Kozilek's Command. I am going to need some good hits off the top of my deck in order to be able to do something here. Oh, there's another one. Malevolent Rumble. Okay, they are just rumbling past it. And they hit a Fade from History. That's fantastic for me because they cannot actually select it off Malevolent Rumble. Green Sun's Zenith. Okay, now I have this Green Sun Zenith covered. So if they Thought-Knot Seer me this turn, then Duress is on top of my deck and it takes Green Sun Zenith, even if they go for Erode. And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. So this is really difficult. This is a really hard decision. I'm going to let Thought-Knot Seer enter. I could have Torpor Orbed it. I don't think that's correct. I'm going to let it go. I need them to make a mistake, I think. I want them to take the Erode. If they take Whir of Invention, okay, that's great. That's fantastic. That was really good for me. So if they had taken the Whir of Invention, then I would have been hard-pressed to find an Ensnaring Bridge for all of these just dumb creatures that they're starting to put into play. I think I'm not going to crack the Bauble. I'm just going to draw Duress. I'm going to Duress them. I am taking the Green Sun Zenith out of their hand. Sorry for not keeping that 100% up to date. The hand tracker, I mean. A lot of stuff is happening right now. With this Mox Opal on top of my deck, I think I might want to cycle the Mishra's Bauble, trying to hit something good. Okay, they're just casting Slumbering Trudge. Because even if the card underneath Mox Opal is dead, I'm still going to have enough material that I can use to Whir for Ensnaring Bridge this turn. Card underneath wasn't entirely dead. Okay, now it's time. Whir of Invention, X equals 3, Ensnaring Bridge, please save me. Oh, they're playing Turn Timber Symbiosis as a land. Okay, that is really good news for me. I am going to pop Bauble here, and I am going to F6. F5. Because I want to activate Great Hall of the Biblioplex. Yeah, that Disciple of Freyalise is still in their hand. I don't like that. Oh, I still need to just get lucky. Need to get a little bit lucky here. I found Codex Shredder. That is the little bit of lucky that I think I needed. Disciple of Freyalise is going to draw them so many freaking cards. I think I actually might end up losing. Oh, it's another one. Yeah. And here we go. So they're going to have yet another Disciple of Freyalise, and then every single revealed card here is going to be in their hand. Okay, Fight Rigging is coming down. Question here is, do I sack my Lantern? 10. I would be taking 10 this turn. Oh, I would literally have nothing. This is not like a targeted removal. This just blows up everything. So yeah, this needs to just go now. That sucks. They're breaking out. Very quickly put a card underneath Fight Rigging. I have a bad feeling about this. Yep, all right. I have Duress on top of my deck right now, and I'm gonna have to just chump with Great Hall of the Biblioplex until something happens. Oh wait, no, I can't do that. Well, I guess I can chump with this guy. Well, I may as well take Kozilek's Command out of your hand. And it needs to be exactly Ensnaring Bridge number 3 underneath of that Duress that we saw. Oh wait, no, they can just, yeah, all right, no, it's game. Oh, so close. But we ended up getting defeated by Fight Rigging. That was really, really close. Oh boy. Really fun games though, really close games, but the hero just managed to break out of it, unfortunately. That's okay, let's go ahead and wrap up the league. So a 4-1 record with this deck. I think that I did pretty dang close to my best. I think that just kind of got run over in that last match, unfortunately. But we had a really fun time today. That match 4 Brew, I don't even know what it's called. I don't know if it has a name, but that was some really impressive Magic. That was some really fun stuff. And the stuff that I was doing happened to line up fairly decently against it. Great Hall of the Biblioplex, once again, just being the cornerstone that holds the mana base together. Really appreciate having this card. It's a big upgrade to Glimmer Void. I wasn't really mad about going up on Seachrome Coasts. It was a little bit tense where I had like a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition or something and I had a Seachrome Coast, but I ended up like dealing with it anyway. So maybe it's okay. Didn't really bring in Prismatic Ending, unfortunately. Just kind of didn't line up with the matches that we played. And if I had been a little bit smarter about Vexing Bauble, perhaps I could have brought that in. Still need something to replace this Offer You Can't Refuse. I think this card's just kind of bad. Erode was really strong. It was incredibly strong. It just answered things. It just did the job. There was a Karn in play, erode it. There was a big creature in play and I had to find time to find bridge, erode it. Erode just works. And I am very happy to be able to play this card in Lantern Control. I'm going to continue iterating on this. I think I am getting very, very close to a final list. Just need to figure out what to do with this guy. I'm not going to put an anime waifu in the slot. Probably. We'll see. This program is made possible by generous funding from these sponsors, and also by your view, like, and comment, the support of my wife and son, and by contributions to Fate Seal Magic from viewers like you. Thank you.